Hey guys, how's it going? Jack from Minifigs here, and today I'm going to be talking about the top 5 best LEGO Star Wars minifigures that you need to get in 2023. These are minifigures that I really do think are going to see a big increase in value over the next few months. The minifigures on this list vary from minifigures that are going to retire this year to minifigures that have already retired, and minifigures that I think you need to pick up as they'll go with some really good sets that are coming out later this year. So without wasting any more time, let's get into the list. And in at 5th place is the Gamorrean Guard. And the way I've done my pricing on this list is just a rough or an average guide as to how much each minifigure is going to be. So for the instance of the Gamorrean Guard, I worked out that the average price that you can get him for is about £13 in the UK, $14 in the US and €14 in Europe. And I know there's going to be a lot of people that are probably thinking that I'm absolutely out of my mind putting this minifigure in a list when it comes to top minifigures to invest in, but I genuinely do think this minifigure will actually do quite well, as if you used to buy this minifigure, which is currently available in the Boba Fett's Throne Room set, I think he'll be a really good addition to some of the new sets that are coming out later this year, such as the Jabba's Palace diorama set. It's quite likely that people will buy this minifigure just to put in that diorama set. And I was even having a really interesting discussion with one of my subscribers in the comments section, talking about how it's very likely that LEGO will eventually get around to doing a UCS version of the sail barge set. And the more you think about it, the more it really does make sense. And if that is ever to become the case, you just know that the Gamorrean Guard's minifigure price would absolutely shoot up in price, because people would be buying bucket loads of these minifigures in order to fill their sail barge set with. And as I mentioned previously about the Jabba's Throne Room diorama set, again, people probably wouldn't buy a ton of these minifigures, but I personally am going to be buying one of them just to put in that set, so I'm sure there'll be lots of other people like me that are going to be buying this minifigure. And although the Boba Fett's Throne Room set doesn't actually retire until the end of this year, I still reckon that the Gamorrean Guard minifigure which comes in that set will still increase in value fairly nicely, as it's highly unlikely that LEGO will make another Gamorrean Guard minifigure anytime soon. Moving on now to our 4th spot, we have the Armourer. This is a really great minifigure that you can grab for about $20 or just under £20. And the reason I put her in this list is because her price at the moment seems to be going up and up and up. And I can only imagine that when The Mandalorian Season 3 finally airs on TV, that her price is going to go up even more, if it is indeed that she has some screen time again. And something that's important to remember with this minifigure is that she's only ever been in one set, which is only just recently retired. So what you're going to see is that the price is going to continue to rise until it eventually maxes out, and then it will stabilise off. So what we could see with this minifigure is her price will probably continue to rise for a fair bit until it stabilises off. But as to how far her minifigure price could go, I really don't know. Probably a fair bit more than £20 though. So maybe based on that fact, I'd probably say that buying a few of her minifigures for just under £20 or about $20 probably isn't too much of a bad investment. And also it's worth considering, because I don't just want to make this video entirely about LEGO investing, but if you're into LEGO collecting and you like the LEGO minifigures, and say you wasn't able to pick up the Armourer's Mandalorian Forge, then I'd still probably say that it's worth buying her minifigure now, because as I just said previously, that her price is going to continue to rise, probably considerably, so if you want to get her whilst she's fairly cheap, then I'd probably pull the trigger now, but that's just my advice anyway. Moving on to 3rd place, we have Paz Vizsla. LEGO absolutely knocked it out of the park with some of the best Mandalorian minifigures we've ever seen last year. And the Paz Vizsla minifigure was definitely up there with the best of the best minifigures. In terms of his design, it's absolutely fantastic. I love everything about this minifigure, from the printing on the legs to the really cool helmet design, and then that amazing big chest piece, which gives him that really bulky look which he had in the Mandalorian TV show. And let's be honest, his minifigure was one of the main reasons that the Armourer's Mandalorian Forge sold as well as it did last year. People were just scrambling to get hold of this minifigure, and since it's retired, his price has absolutely started to go through the roof. When the Mandalorian Forge set was available in the UK and was available in the stores, I remember searching his price up, and he was about £15 in the UK if you wanted to buy him separately. Well, now you cannot find him under £20. His real price is probably more like £25 at the moment. And again, I can only see his price continuing to go through the roof because people love the character and they love how good the minifigure is. So definitely try keep your eyes out on eBay, and if you do see him pop up for under £20 or under $25, then I'd probably say that's a pretty good price for this minifigure, and still leaves you a lot of room for growth. Moving on, and in second place we have yet another Mandalorian minifigure, Gar Saxon. This was yet another standout minifigure of 2022. And this was one of the minifigures that I pointed people to, as I really thought that he would be one of the best LEGO minifigure investments of the last few years. And to be honest, from what I'm seeing on the market, it looks like I'm going to prove myself right. Last year I was telling people that it might be worth investing in this minifigure at about £30, because that was the going rate back then. But now, you cannot find his minifigure for under £45, and I've seen some listings go up to about £60 and selling. But something else I find really interesting is the fact that there's barely any of the Gar Saxon minifigures actually on the market, and when they are uploaded, they seem to be snapped up straight away. So that tells me that there's a real hunger and desire for people to try and get this minifigure. So if you have got a few of these minifigures stashed away, then I'd say well done to you, because these minifigures are certainly going to earn you some money in the future. And if you haven't, then I'd say it might be worth joining the bandwagon now, or at least trying to find a few minifigures on the market if you can, because the price, it will not stop at £60, I almost guarantee it. So yeah, Gar Saxon is definitely a minifigure that you'd want to consider when it comes to LEGO investing, and even LEGO collecting, because this is one that you really would want to put in your collection, because he is one of the best Mandalorian minifigures that have ever been made. And moving on to our top spot of this list, we have the 187th Legion Clone Trooper. This is a brilliant minifigure that ticks so many boxes for me. First of all, it's a clone trooper, and clone troopers tend to always do well post-retirement. Another thing I like about this minifigure is the fact that its price isn't too bad. Compared to some of the other minifigures on this list, which are fairly expensive, this one you can buy at about £12, $14 or about €12 on average. So you're not going to break the bank on this minifigure, so it just leaves you a nice little bit of room for that minifigure to grow in value. But as for how the minifigure actually looks individually, I think it looks really good, and I just love the contrast of the purple and the white on the armour. And then you've got that cool little detail on the torso of the shoulder strap going right across the torso, which kind of gives the minifigure more of a battle hardened look. So all in all, it's a pretty top-notch minifigure. And I would just say that if you are looking to invest in this minifigure, then it's probably worth just buying the original set that it comes in, which is still technically available to buy, although it still seems almost nearly impossible to find it. So yeah, this minifigure definitely tops my list of one of the best minifigures that you can pick up in 2023. But what did you guys make to this list? Are there any minifigures that you think should have been on this list? Let me know down in the comments. And I'd love to hear what your favourite minifigure to invest in at the moment is, so please do share that in the comments. Anyway guys, thanks for watching this video. I really appreciate it as always, and I can't wait to see you on the next one. See you later.